where my play calling in the game of Madden will drive you mad. Now, on my channel here, I may show some plays that I found from other people, and I'll give them the credit, and I will tell you how I use it differently if I do. But in this startup video, I'm going to show you some offensive plays that I like to run. So a couple little schemes that I find effective when I play online. The first one is in single back big, and it is triangle here, wide receiver quick. Now, I'm not using a team specific playbook. I like to use my own playbook. So if you're looking for a team playbook that it's in, I couldn't tell you. I don't usually do that because I like to have my own set of single back, my own set of shotgun plays, my own set of I formation plays and what have you, and not every team has what I want, so I make my own. Now, it seems like they know what I'm doing here because they have the linebacker shifted over to the left here, but this works really good against the 4-3. It's a little bit tougher against the 3-4, which is kind of what this is. Pretty much, you get 5 guys right on the line of scrimmage, so it makes it a little bit tougher. So, what I do sometimes to get teams to tighten up is, well, I don't have it as one of my audibles, is I do a version of this play that I'll show you in a little bit, which is a fake reverse and a handoff up the middle. But usually I'll run this to loosen people up, because just the speed alone I can get a good 10 plus yards, and I get a lot of big plays, especially if users miss tackles. I can get a huge play. Sometimes this looks bad, the safeties are up, but sometimes they mess it up where there's nobody back here. You get a huge play. I know I'm playing against the young Jaguars defense that isn't really stout, but I really wanted to show how this play is real effective. Just 5 yards there, but you're not going to get a big play every time. If you have trouble getting a play, like this one looks like I'm not going to be able to get it, is run it on like a second and short. You don't mind wasting a play just to give them this picture, so when they see the receiver in motion they think it's reverse. The thing that sucks is that you can't motion anybody because Fuller is going to be in motion, so on these plays you can't motion. What you can do is hit L1 and push left on the right stick, hopefully get a little more push that way, but I think that only works on pass protection. You know, just more of a give you the morale to think it's safe to run this, but probably not. I might have to run behind the left tackle and not bounce it outside. We'll see what happens here. And, you know, still 4 yards roughly. But you get to see that when you get the defense seeing this, that it sets up a couple of other plays. Because what they usually end up doing, especially in a 3-4, is they will spread out the defense, whether it's the line or the linebackers or even both. And when you do that, you should have this play as an audible. It's the quick HB dive here, triangle again, go to some random 4-3 plays. It probably won't work because they're not really spreading, but what I like about this big formation is if you hit audible and R2, you flip the play, no one knows that you really flipped it. You know, maybe if they're paying attention and they know that call, they know you did a flip, but what this will do is just get you some quick yards up the middle, because oh, that's a reverse. If the user's taking the linebacker or safety, you'll see him chase that guy because he's like, oh crap, I know what's going on here. So he'll go and he'll chase him, and you can punch it in for a few yards here. Sometimes you get some big gains, but I'm not going to say this is a big play by all means. It's more or less if they spread out and the user's going after that receiver, you can just punch it in for a few quick yards. Texans offensive line, not that good, not gonna lie. I like the Texans, but they got a lot of holes. One of them is the offensive line. And of course, I don't make any moves. I'm a robot here. But even with the defense up here in the front, I can still get some decent gains. You know, I'm not getting tackled for a loss even behind this crappy offensive line here. So you can do that. And the third play I can actually audible to is the play action flanker quick, which is a fake reverse. But what I like to do is I take Hopkins, the square route, and I put him on a streak, because he'll take that cornerback with him. And on man coverage, he'll follow him all the way down. And as a dump-off route, I put X receiver Fedorowicz in a drag, because he's my backup plan. And if that don't work, I'm just throwing it away, because by that time, I'm dead. But if you get them thinking, oh, a run every time they see this, this can turn into a big play, especially on man coverage. And I didn't throw it quick enough, and I still tried to force it, which you shouldn't do. You just throw it away or you dump off guy, but I wanted to make something happen. So again, get Hopkins to go. There's a drag route here. And they think a run. They boom, and if Fedorowicz actually blocked, that could be a big play. I get a lot of big plays online with this. If I can get it set up. Whoops. I didn't even audible yet. And this looks like a blitz. So I might not have a lot of time, but it could also be a big play. No safety with Hopkins. I'm going to take that most of the time. Especially on a play action. I had to do that. So you can see how that setup works pretty well. You know, some teams are better at doing playing against it, especially 3-4. They spread out a little better. But you can still get it on them if you work it, the inside run on them as well. But some users, they're just good. They're smart. They know how to play. I had users chase down Fuller on the pass plays, but that's why you gotta have dump off people or just throw it away. Don't try to force it. Even though some users, they might chase them down and they still mess up the play because they can run there, but they don't know how to make a user play. Now, I'll throw one more play in here that I do in the single back spread. And I use this route that I learned from Madden Money Shot on YouTube. If you see here deep outs in the middle, the square play, there's a kind of a glitchy route. It can be covered, but I'll do random dime here. It's hard for users to, the computer to cover. A user can cover it, but again, I put Hopkins on a street to get rid of that corner. I don't want to have it all conjunctified here, but you motion strong over, that route he does, he'll keep it. He doesn't flip it when he goes over. You also got to wait for him to get set, or else he'll block. I'll show you that in a little bit here. But another thing to notice is on circle, when they're tight like that, I notice the outs and ins work really well when they're playing tight like that. So I might try to hit Fuller there, especially with his speed. As long as he beats that press. Usually when they play tight, I can get that. I don't know if his feet were in, but you got a good quarterback, you can make those plays pretty consistently. The thing is with Brock, not always going to make those throws. But anyway, the X route would be your main read, except when it's tight coverage like this. You got a receiver you trust on that side, and you're good at making those sideline plays. This is a good one to have. Now that was a good one. Now if they're going to keep doing that, see now they're backing up. Now that they're backing up, X is definitely going to be the main route, and if you want, since they're backed up, you could put Fuller on a button hook, but you see how it's a zone. They got a corner in the slot there where Strong was, my X receiver, so he could easily cover that underneath on a button hook. So not a good option to throw to. If you want, when they're doing this, you can take circle, put him on a slant, and he could be a backup route, but he might run into your triangle receiver. But that can be good and bad. It could be a natural pick. But anyway, I actually wanted to throw to circle there. He didn't even try for it. For some reason, this one isn't working for me today. They're covering it pretty well. They jammed him up pretty good. But usually you can get him on the sideline. like that, even with the coverage on him. Hopefully I can get that and show you. But again, they're playing a little tight. I'll show you how when they're playing tight, it's hard to get to the sideline there, even with a crappy throw. That don't help. When they play in bump like that, it does mess it up, and that's why you have Fuller or whoever your number 2 guy. But usually this play can get you a good... See how I hiked it real fast and he didn't even go out for his route? You gotta be patient. Sometimes it's hard online. You're like, oh, I got this, I'm gonna do this, and then you just mess it up. But here when they play tight, usually that corner is underneath a little bit too long, and he can get underneath this route, even on a lob here, and he comes back and picks it off. So when you do see the bump, you do want to look another way. Not saying he won't get open, but most likely open on a loose coverage like this. And you can see that I had the ball lined up between the hash. It works better when it's over to the right, but you can see if you get an accurate quarterback, which I don't, you can make these kind of plays all day. See, hiked it too fast. It looked like he was already fine. And bad throw, but probably a good thing. Playing bump again. And it looks like man coverage, so it looks like Fuller is the main read here. Oh, he actually played that one good. He wasn't even looking. He just played the receiver the whole time. But anyway, that's another play I like to do. But when they're spread out like this, I will audible to something like an inside zone or a trap. And I'll just bounce it for a few yards here to get them playing the run so that it opens up the pass. Now when I run a trap, I like to run it, not the trap, the zone here, I like to run it to the open side of the DT and right end, because you usually can get in between them, which I bounced too far outside on that one, and you can get a few good yards. Oh, but they're blitzing the corners, so you know what that means? That means Hopkins is going to go deep. And another thing I forgot to say is when you do a run, you still might want to motion Fuller over just to, oh wow, come on Hopkins. That ain't how you play. Alright, so let's say you do a trap, you want him still thinking pass, well, motion the guy over, and he's doing his own. Hey, you get the linebacker out of the middle of the field, that's awesome. Can just push over that corner, no problem. And you get a few yards. Now, I'm already up to 13 minutes, I didn't want to make it this long, so thank you for checking out the Maddening. I hope you like the plays here. Try them out yourself, give you an idea how to come up with your own plays. But yeah, come back, subscribe, check out more plays. I'll try to do a couple plays on the weekend. I might do plays during the week. I don't know how I'm going to do this yet, but thanks for checking it out. Stay tuned for more, and I will give credit to those that I end up getting ideas from. Like Money Shot gave me the idea for that route, not for that play in general, but he showed me that route. Not personally, I ended up just checking out his videos. So check out Madden Money Shot. I don't know why I keep calling him Money Shot. It's kind of gross, but Madden Money Shot. For other cool plays like that, he comes up with some pretty good ideas. So, yeah, later.